They can't write villains anymore. I don't know. They're too afraid to show a good villain and like a real asshole.
Hollywood names don't come
Mm.
much more iconic and instantly recognizable than Steven
Spielberg again.
Spielberg, the guy who basically invented the concept of the modern blockbuster, whose filmography reads like a whistle-stop tour of everything that cinema can and should be, who instantly evokes feelings of wonder and magic and boundless possibilities. Damn, man, I practically grew up on Steven Spielberg
Yeah.
movies, from
Yeah.
Jaws to Indiana Jones, E.T. to The Goonies,
Oh my God, Goonies are like my favorite movie of all time, The Goonies. They don't make movies like that anymore, but you can't in this time of era, right? Because you can only capture like the past, and there's a certain kind of, you know, these days these movies wouldn't work because everyone's got a mobile phone, everyone's connected to the internet, and the Goonies, they discover like an old map on the attic, and the kids today, they would just Google it, and then ask ChatGPT where the treasure is buried. So the concept just doesn't work anymore. We passed that time, and I don't know. They're constantly trying to recapture this, but it doesn't work in this modern era, unfortunately. And that's why we're getting a lot of like millennial nostalgia movies from the 80s and 90s, because it's the last moment in time where you could actually be disconnected, and social gatherings would have meaning, like having friends, being outside, not constantly like on the phone, distracted, right? So yeah, it's a different time. So these movies, they used to be great.
Jurassic Park to Saving Private Ryan.
Because they have the
But for all
message.
things, there is a season, and no matter how high you rise up, eventually time and
The
tide are going to bring you
message.
down. Which brings me neatly along to Disclosure Day, a movie that seems to have garnered about as much hype and anticipation as the
What's
f***ing
this?
Mandalorian movie, released into an apathetic marketplace that's still dominated by a pair of low-budget horror movies made by YouTubers. And honestly, now that I've experienced it for myself, I can see why nobody's excited for this tedious, meandering,
I didn't even know about this movie. It's rare to find a solid movie. I didn't even know about this.
unfocused, pretentious piece of shit that feels like a holdover from a different generation, completely disconnected from the zeitgeist of today, and convinced that it's somehow way deeper and more profound than it actually is. Disclosure Day is basically The Running Man, and I mean
Disclosure Day. Has anyone heard of it? Hands up in chat if you've seen it or knew about this movie.
the crappy Edgar Wright version, but presented and marketed like it's 2001 A Space Odyssey. Anyway, let's get the plot summary over with quick so I can drown my sorrows in something appropriate, like toilet duck. So the movie
Is it
opens with
that
our main
bad?
man Daniel, who's some fucking dork working for a super secret government agency that manages recovered alien technology dating all the way back to the Roswell incident in the 1940s. Anyway, he steals an alien space dildo along with a bunch of files and records that could blow the whole operation wide open if they ever got released to the public, and goes on the run with his girlfriend who's a former nun. Yeah, sure, okay. Wait, I just realized something. This movie is literally Nuns on the Run.
Oh my God, yes! Nuns on the Run. That's a great movie.
Anyway, while this is going on, weather girl Emily Blunt has a close encounter with a bird in her living room and then immediately starts speaking an alien language live on air. Clearly something's up with this girl.
So it's
So the story
sci-fi.
basically revolves around these two complete strangers who share a unique bond, who find themselves drawn to each other for unknown reasons, while Colin Firth uses another one of the alien space dildos to psychically track their movements so he can capture them. Oh yeah, the space dildos allow you to tap into other people's brains so you can see
I thought the Running Man remake was okay. I've seen worse. I definitely seen worse. I would say it's okay. We didn't need to have that. No one actually asked for it. It was unnecessary. But I mean, I could watch it.
what they see and even force them to act against their will. Something that Nun Lady becomes aware of pretty quickly when he does it to her, but instead of realizing that she's a walking liability and cutting her loose, Daniel just goes, "Nah, it'll be fine," and then acts surprised when Black Ops teams in SUVs keep crashing his party. Not that it matters much though, because their level of competence makes the Russian army look like the Adeptus Astartes, and even a computer nerd like Daniel, who's never done anything more strenuous than climb a flight of stairs in his entire life, is easily able to give them the slip. Why? Fuck you, that's why. Anyway, so eventually the two of them hook up and travel to a local TV station in Kansas to broadcast all the secret government information, but then Colin Firth shows up and shuts the whole thing down just as they're about to go live. But that's okay, because Emily Blunt uses the alien space dildo to power everything back up again, because I guess computers and satellite uplinks can run on hopes and dreams or...
Dude, what the f*** is this plot? Sometimes I think about it, right? The Hollywood producers and these studios and their budgets. And then you must have a guy who goes in there and pitches these like lame and gay stories. And they're just like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Such a great plot for the story, you know? I mean, really?
Something. Then Colin Firth just kind of goes, "Well, I'm all out of ideas," and has a nice sit down while she releases everything to the entire
They probably
world.
don't even write it themselves. It's ChatGPT. Big brands and famous actors, squeeze them in a movie and then call it a day. Whatever is going on there, it's unnecessary. That doesn't matter. But you got all the like famous actors in one movie.
Do you know what else could stop her, Colin? A fucking bullets. It's kinda tough to leak highly classified and potentially devastating government information when you're breathing through your fucking forehead. Anyway, then Emily Blunt's friends wheel a geriatric alien into the studio, and no, I'm not kidding when I say this. Where did it come from? How did they manage to get it past security?
One knows.
Don't know. Then it whispers something in her ear, and the movie ends before we even find out what it says. And that's it. That's the plot for Disappointment Day.
Wait, what?
I hate this. It is revolting.
Honestly, what a pointless waste of time and money this movie was. I mean, the way Spielberg's been hyping this shit up, you'd think it was about to reshape the future of Western civilization or something. Like it was going to be his magnum opus, the epic culmination of a career spanning more than half a century. When you get right down to it though, it's nothing more than an uninspired, by-the-numbers chase movie about two people we don't particularly like or care about, pursuing a vague objective that isn't particularly interesting, hunted by an enemy that's not particularly competent, powerful, or clearly defined. The revelations and twists are mostly non-existent. Nothing's revealed in this movie that you either don't already know or would have guessed about 30 minutes before it happens. Even the villain's flat and dull, like he's just going...
This is so lame, guys. I hate this. And imagine how many millions and millions of dollars have gone into this project, right? Vogue Tomb Raider pitch. Lara goes on an adventure with the Holy Grail. Fighting the lesbian girlfriend? Dude, I would watch that. I would. Why not? Just for shits and giggles. Like the biggest bullshit is the evil guy. They can't write villains anymore. I don't know. They're too afraid to show a good villain and like a real asshole. Why everything has to be like so inclusive.
Going through the motions with no clear sense of identity or purpose.
Absolutely
Colin Firth's character isn't complex and nuanced enough to be interesting, or just plain evil enough to be genuinely threatening. And for a Black Ops government agency out to protect their secrets at all costs, they never once do something
Also the coloring of modern movies, if you look at it, right, there's this... I can tell you why it looks the way it is, because most of the scenes are probably shot in front of a green screen or in a studio, so they can like later on with the special effects change it and shape the story differently if they needed to. And it's not the same acting and stuff. And you can definitely tell. So dark, and it's not that poppy bright colors which we had in the 80s and 90s movies, right? It looks ugly, and all the movies look the same. You could take any screenshot from the last like 10 years of movies and they would all have that same look, that same filter. Do you know what I mean? Do you see it too?
Crazy, like kill anyone,
fucking hate
even
it.
when it would absolutely be in their interest to do so. This is the kind of story that's been done 100 times before, usually far better, and often by Spielberg himself. Close Encounters was infinitely better at building up the wonder and mystery of an alien force acting on humanity for decades, all building up to that epic.
It's like they're afraid of showing colors. That it's something like, I don't know, bright and cheerful. And I know this is supposed to be a sci-fi and a horror, probably drama or something. But even E.T. looked better, and it had moments where it was like broad daylight. You had the kids' room with all the toys and the gizmos, right? It's no original concept anymore.
First contact scene. E.T. better captured the human drama and universality of friendship, loyalty, and loss, all wrapped up around a likable group of children.
See how bright, like, it's still dark. E.T. story is pretty gloomy, right? Very sad, and how they are connected. But the coloring, I mean, you can definitely tell it's an 80s movie, also with the special effects, and yeah. But somehow it still looks better watching 80s movies than the modern slop, because here they actually had a puppet, right? And they were acting out in this room, not in front of some teleprompts with bodysuits and dots on them, so they could like change the looks and makeups and scenery to adjust for the end product. And it feels so wrong.
Children that transcends culture and even species. Shit, man, even War of the Worlds delivered a better story about massive world-changing events that would reshape humanity. Disclosure Day bills itself as a movie of big ideas, but ultimately it feels small, both intellectually and creatively. And worst of all, it's a movie that feels weirdly dated and irrelevant now, despite a few clunky references to AI and current-day conflict zones. Obsession has dominated the box office, partly because it tapped into a lot of current...
That's another problem, because they don't make timeless movies anymore, right? Like if you watch Steven Spielberg, for instance, Indiana Jones, it was awesome back in the days, and it still holds up to today because it's an awesome movie. Or Lord of the Rings, right? And although, yeah, some special effects, they look like goofy, or that looks so unreal, but it still looks better than, let's say, Marvel Endgame, where they're fighting everyone, and you have all this CGI generated slop there at the end, where you go like, I don't know if this holds up the same in 30 or 40 years' time.
Current day anxieties about modern dating, relationships, isolation, and unrealistic expectations.
Don't consume any more Hollywood's slop. Don't give them the money. Don't buy the movie tickets. Don't subscribe to Disney Plus and Netflix and all those, sites that are creating these movies that are absolutely fucking terrible.
Hit a cultural nail right on the head, which is why it created such an insane grassroots movement supporting it. Disclosure Day, on the other hand, feels like it's trying to grapple with the angst and fascinations of 30 years ago, when shows like The X-Files were all the rage. Nowadays, I feel like if they actually came out and admitted that aliens exist, most people are so wrapped up in their own problems and petty squabbles that they wouldn't even give a shit. That's exactly the way I felt when I shut down my computer. Sorry, I mean walked out of the movie theater. I just didn't give a shit about what I'd seen.
Oh my god. Oh, okay, he watched the whole thing. Why did you even go there in the first place? I wouldn't sit down in a cinema and watching this. Shitty movie hype.
It did absolutely nothing for me. It was a 2.5 hour snore fest, and sad proof that Steven Spielberg's best days as a filmmaker are long behind him.
Yeah.
As I said at the start of this review, for all things there is a season, dear viewer. A time to keep and a time to cast away. And as much as it pains me to say it, I think Steven Spielberg's time is up.
It's over.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
I've already forgotten what the movie was called, guys. Disclosure? You gotta make timeless movies, and the only way you do this is by capturing good stories. And if you change it so it fits our timeline, it doesn't make sense. Because people usually want to watch movies to escape their timeline. It's our way of time traveling. But if you go like, yeah, now everyone is gay, and we got to have a black guy, and then we got to have like a wheelchair person, and we got to have I don't know, some other minority, and we got to have one who's constantly like agitated and has anxieties and ADHD problems, right? And then we got to have like a neutral, gender neutral, like a weird, probably make him look like a cube. Yeah, that will make sense. Just a square somewhere. And you keep giving to them. You keep consuming. That's the biggest problem here. Consumerism. People, you have to wake up. Stop watching these movies. Don't go to cinemas anymore. Cancel your subscription. Boycott the whole fucking thing.